Have you ever nodded off during a PowerPoint presentation? One business reckons it's got the answer, turning pages of strategy documents into one A3 watercolour. On the face of it, sounds a bit balmy to me. Here's what Rachel made of it.
Big companies are always coming up with new aims, strategies and mission statements, but making sure every employee knows and understands the latest vision of their company can be a pretty tricky task. So I'm meeting one man who's managed to turn the art of communication into a successful business. This is Julian Burton. He's been a medical illustrator, a landscape painter and a web designer. Now he's using his illustrious skills to run his own business, Delta 7.
Delta 7 is a small change consultancy that helps help companies communicate strategy and vision in a very different way. What we do is we take what is often a very thick strategy document and, through working with a senior team, turn that into a very large, colourful picture, watercolour picture of the story, and then that's used to engage staff in meaningful discussion around strategy and vision and what's expected of them. One client, the chief executive took it to the warehouse, put it up on the wall, put my picture up on the wall, and explained his strategy to the forklift truck drivers. They'd never been valued so much. They'd never felt valued so much. The chief executive found out stuff that he doesn't find out from his middle managers, and they actually understood the strategy, because they could ask him questions of it.
How did you come up with the idea?
Well, I started going to some management lectures a couple of years ago and would be making drawings of the theories to help me understand them, and somebody noticed them, and I started to work within companies capturing strategic meetings on the wall of the meeting room.
So as they were having the meeting, you were drawing on the wall?
I'd be capturing everything they say to help them get a grip on what they're trying to talk about.
Julian currently works with 15 to 20 companies a year, but business is growing so fast, he's looking to take on extra consultants and illustrators.
Okay, this picture is for a company who wanted to explain the story of change to their staff. It's a story from left to right. Over here we have how we used to make money. Here we have the drivers for change, why we have to change. Here is the decision point. If we don't change, this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And if we do change, we've got a lot of hard work to do, and then we're going to be able to get to this part, which is the vision. So
this one is very much a company wanting to make changes and change their strategy and,
yes,
and tell their staff about it. This poster is more about kind of the day-to-day business environment, the working environment.
This is more of a values picture. This is more about, this is working for a particular team in the NHS. This is more about what's the most important thing we want to remember on a daily basis. What it is that we do. How do we feel at work? And this has had the effect of helping them to really anchor what's important about their work.
Mm-hmm. And why is there a rocket in the top right-hand corner?
Quite often I put in small visual metaphors to help them tell the story. So this is to remind them that even though some people think service improvement is very complicated, it's actually not rocket science. This is the biggest problem I see in most organisations. It's the unspoken. It's the things that people are too scared to talk about in meetings. This is the elephant under the table.
One company who wanted to get that elephant out from under the table was BAE Systems. So I've come to their site in Lancashire to see if it's worked.
Basically 2 years ago we ran an employee opinion survey which told us that less than half of our workforce understood our strategy. Clearly that's a major problem when you're transforming a business. We decided we wanted to use a picture because people remember 10% of what they read, 50% of what they see and hear, and 90% of what they interact and have a conversation on. Having decided we wanted a picture, we worked with Julian Burton from Delta 7 who'd been recommended to us and created the picture that you can see here in the shop. Overall, the reaction has been very, very positive. you see copies of our big picture all over the business. It started with our managing director rolling it out to his first line, and then every leader in our business experienced it as an employee and then rolled it out to their working teams. And now the picture is all over the business, and anybody in our organisation can go to that picture and describe in their own words what it is that we're trying to do and what our strategy is. And I think that's a fundamental step forward from the very dry PowerPoint slides that we've traditionally used to describe strategy.
Tony, you've worked at BAE for 19 years. Now, this poster's been up for 12 months. Do you think it's helped explain to you more about what your job is?
It has, yes. It gives you an insight into where you are within the business. Basically, the RAF base bit there, where I'm sort of still at BAE Wharton and liaising and doing a lot of the manufacturing work for RAF at Marham. So I see myself still at Wharton, but liaising with Marham as well and getting the engineering out for the RAF bases, yeah.
And what do the other guys that you work with, what do they think of this picture? Do they think it's important, or do they just think, well, what's the point? It's just another management strategy?
No, they've been very impressed. They've been very sort of impressed with how where they can liaise themselves personally, and where they're put on the picture, and where do I fit within the business, and where am I going in the future.
Delta 7 have worked for almost a third of the FTSE 100, and if their idea sticks, it could bring a new meaning to drawing up a strategy.
Rachel Horn.